We're going live.
All right.
We are live. This is Wednesday. Got 3 of the 4 of the triumvirate of the Beacon group here for the Beacon Roundtable. We talk about the greatest topics on your mind in the world of on-chain finance. You got myself, Chris. You got Andrew. You got Gabe. And we were just talking about what could we talk about for a cold open. Andrew, you had a fun thought.
We got so many options, really. We have so many options. Chris is cold. There's a very loud hedge trimmer near Gabe.
Very warm, sunny day as well for UK here.
That's interesting. I mean, I always imagine the UK is cold and dreary.
That's the usual. Yeah, that's what's worth noting.
Okay, worth noting when it's not cold and dreary. All right.
Well, somewhere where it's not cold and dreary is in Florida, where friend Steve is from Florida, where people are going to get die or get indicted. Fair enough. Speaking of that, we should we talk about how we're going to ETH Miami at the end of October? Have big plans, so
wait.
hopefully we can see all of
do
you
a
guys
good
there.
Will Smith impression.
Which one?
The
in
one
Miami,
where he has a song about going to Miami.
Yeah, we're going to Miami. Bienvenido a Miami. Fair enough.
Oh, not bad, Chris. That's actually much better than I would have done.
Well, I have to do it in a much higher pitch because that's where the song goes. So, hello, Paula. Welcome everyone to the call. Got a lot to talk about today. If you notice, there's only 3 of us today. Jangle is
an undisclosed location.
Undisclosed location, I'd have to say.
Yeah.
I just know that he's floating. He's currently floating, and there is no Starlink around him. There's nothing around him. So we hope he is doing well. We hope he is staying hydrated. And
I really hope he sets the record. To me, like, I really hope he gets the record done. I know he's been training for this for a while. But if things go well, you may see him in the news.
Oh no, I'm not even gonna ask. I don't even know if I want to know. All right, we'll move on to.
Speaking of Starlink, they do have an option now where you can bring it on a boat. And you're
really?
supposed to have full coverage across the world, yeah, and you're even allowed to move it. It's expensive, but yeah.
Okay. Is that kind of like, so if you have like a recreational vehicle, an RV or a camper, you can actually just buy one of those. It just literally looks like a giant cooler, but it has a dome on it and you can point it towards the sky at Starlink. I've seen those.
Yeah, but it's like over $1,000 for the one you can move for the subscription.
Shnikes. All right, well, we'll hit up our first. That doesn't even look right. But d.fi has the first crypto antivirus deployed. This is on ZK Sync Era, the mainnet for the zero knowledge proof rollup ZK Sync. In my research, I couldn't really tell if they were putting it anywhere else, to be honest. But if you are a hardcore ZK Sync fan, if you're looking to grab that airdrop, feel free to use this service to identify crypto scam early, protect your wallet from drainers using the first antivirus on ZK Sync Era mainnet. Antivirus is a bit misleading in my personal opinion, but I guess it's an exploit that can be used.
So is this like an automated version of old school rug duck?
Kind of.
It's just gonna check for some basic scams.
Yeah, so what they have is a token sniffer. They have a token sniffer. That's all I know. I've looked at it. Everything gets a score. For example, they've looked at Pepe. But see, the thing is I don't know exactly what happens on ZK Sync Air that makes it different than anywhere else. But This is their scanner where you can scan any token. They also have one for smart contracts. That's free. And I believe it is on, yeah, you can do a contract address. There's also one for, now this is for all chains. Maybe this is just rolling it out on ZK Sync Era for some reason, but regardless, cool for them.
So this scans smart contracts and finds vulnerabilities?
I'm guessing so. I mean, I'm assuming that what they've done is they've taken their audits, they've taken the REC database, their version of the REC database, and they've put all that information into their scanner, looking for anything from an audit perspective that could be interesting. I'd like to see more protocols do something like this. It'd be cool if DeFi Llama had this in, but D.Fi having it's pretty cool too. Could certainly use multiple resources so there's not everything coming from one person in the space. I mean, it's good to have anything, I guess. What do you think, guys?
Yeah, it's an interesting idea. It's just I wouldn't be able to trust just this, right?
Right.
Yeah, it would have to prove itself first, preventing bad things from happening for a while.
Oh, I guess it does have risk categorization. That's good. Yeah, so this is the part that actually kind of caught my attention, is that they do have honeypot detection, which is something that a lot of people have been curious about. If this can do honeypots on any brand new, coin that's been deployed, regardless of the chain, that could be powerful. I mean, frankly,
this isn't exactly new. Honeypots and like common exploit scanners has been a fairly common thing for a while now.
Sure. Can you name a resource that has one that anyone can access?
I don't remember. We were using one on Polygon a while back. There's
Yeah,
a Telegram.
there's one on
that was
Polygon.
listing new contracts. Yeah.
Yeah, they're Telegram bots, right? So having an actual web app that'll actually do this, where you can access it from anywhere without having to rely on Telegram, I like that idea. So if you're an application developer, put more of these out there. We need these tools for sure to help keep us safe and protecting your wealth. That is the Beacon way. All right, we'll move on. So, news of the week. My goodness, look at Base. Since we talked about Base last week, and then the week before, and the week before that, it's now nearly at 170 mil of total value locked within its first week. That's a lot of money. That's a whole lot of money.
Not even really showing any signs of slowing down. If anything, it's seems to be gaining traction faster.
Yeah, so it was at 25 last week. Oh, there's Beso Finance. That's not the same thing. Where is it this week? These are the protocols. If we're looking at the actual chain, Base was 25 last week. It is 15 this week, with more than 59 protocols listed. So it's getting up there pretty quick. We have a lot of profile. We're seeing a lot of protocols getting ready to go out on Base, and a lot of well-known protocols like Sushi's there, Balancer's there, Uniswap is there, Beefy is there. I guess BaseSwap is the largest DEX that they have there. So, yeah, definitely worth considering moving some money there. We also talked last week about their NFT marketing campaign through onchain summer.xyz. If any of you got the Coca-Cola NFT over the weekend and you're feeling generous, let me know. I kind of wanted one of those. I'm actually feeling FOMO about that. I know you're not supposed to, but ultimately every day for this entire month, they're doing something different with regards to a protocol or project working with Base. Today's is Blackbird, which is wow, a complimentary. Okay, so it's a partner restaurant. So it's it's right here. It's a restaurant check-in, so it's a loyalty pass, right? So the more restaurants you go into that are a part of the Blackbird network, you receive the Fly token. Interesting. I'm assuming it's like a frequent flyer thing, and then you can use it to purchase goods with. So interesting idea. We've seen this happen before, but ultimately there's a lot of this is good biz dev from them actually, because this is exactly what Starbucks, Gap, Aeropostale, all those other brands are doing with Polygon, is using their NFT prowess on Polygon to create user loyalty programs, which looks like that's what Blackbird is here. So, gentlemen, any thoughts on Base so far? Are you over there exploring, checking it out?
I haven't bridged over myself yet. I've a
Mhm.
lot of the groups that I'm in, a lot of people have been talking about new projects popping up on Base. I think it's mainly been the typical shitcoins, the early projects. I think we'll talk about one a bit later here as well, but the more serious protocols, they're taking a little bit longer to deploy, and I think we're going to start seeing some larger cap projects popping up over the next few weeks.
Yeah, some
I'm
of the
really
TVL taking
excited.
this up. Go ahead.
I'm really excited to see Base pass Cardano's TVL. That'll be a great little milestone. We're not quite there yet.
So all of our Cardano, our ATMs out there. I don't know what to tell you, man.
We got some Uniswap deployed on Base now, and we're starting to see some more utilization on that side.
Wow,
Have you looked at the yields yet, Andrew?
Yeah, I've looked.
He's looked. Is he
Are
going
you
to
talking specifically
me.
about the Uniswap ones, or?
Yeah, there's some pretty good ones on Sushi as well, from what I've seen.
What I will
yeah,
say,
not so much Uniswap specific on Base, but I am now, like as we speak.
Careful, Rocket Swap rugged, so don't go there. What I am looking at specifically on Uniswap is playing into this narrative. I'll drop you the alpha right now. Setting a USDC ETH position on V3, because there's going to be a lot of people swapping, right? Swapping ETH for whatever. So figure out which coins you think are going to do well, do an ETH position on them, do some accumulation, see what outperforms ETH, what doesn't, and build a bag. Build a bag. So yeah, I mean, I'm super excited for what Base is going to be. The fact they've done this in a week, in the face of really shaky market conditions right now, there's a lot of chop out there right now, is promising. I do think that people are looking for new opportunities. I mean, what have people said, Andrew? That the market's been frankly boring for the last 2 months. So this is like a nice little injection. If you compound that with Mantle, with Linea, some of these other blockchains also coming up.
I mean, current market
Question-
conditions are great for on-chain yields. So
That's true. Volatility is a yield farmer's best friend, is it not, Andrew?
I've heard that said before, that's for sure.
That's what I've heard as well. Safety thoughts on Alien Base and Base Swap. Alien Base is brand new. I don't have any thoughts on that. Base Swap, from what I've heard in different networks that we're in, pretty good so far. Leading decks so far. We'll see how Sushi kind of blends in. They like to take a little bit of TVL from places. It's kind of
nice to see Stargate deploy there as well. It's a solid bridge.
Yeah, so now that Stargate's there, hopefully we start seeing the cross-chain swap. And if the cross-chain swap is there, people are coming quickly. So this might be your time to start setting up a position, especially from a V3 standpoint, or if you just want to check out some yields, play around a little bit. Obviously, this is still very new. There's a whole lot of movement coming in the next 60 to 6 months on Base. So yeah, I'm super bullish. You guys bullish?
I think it's going to continue to attract more TVL as we go forward. So I do expect on-chain yields there to be pretty good over the next few months.
Yeah, I agree. So there is one little app that's making the rounds on the Zeets. on the X, the tweeters, and that's friend.tech. You may have heard about friend tech if you have been curating your alpha sources. It's a bit on the it's gone a little wackadoodle. I do want to shout out Coop. Where's Coop? Well, in any case, I got to thank Coop for hooking me up with a code to get into friend tech, because apparently it's beta and it's invite only. If I can get some codes, I'll let you know. If you have a code to friend tech, feel free to put in the chat. So just let me know if you have one. If I get any, maybe we'll put a little contest or something out there. While you're there, make sure to like and subscribe. Like the video, help us out with the algorithm. Would love to see it. Love to see lots of people here. But thanks to Coop. Let me get Coop's. I'll put Coop's profile there in the chat, just as a thank you for hooking me up with that. There are these invite codes, as I mentioned. It is something. One thing about friend tech, it is a mobile only app, by the way. So if you have an Android or an iPhone, you actually have to install it using on an iPhone. You have to use Safari, and then link it to your Twitter, and then it's a clout app, right? So the best way to describe it, and Olympio shout out for the explanation, but if you've ever heard of a project called BitClout, BitClout's very similar. Basically, you sign up for an account, or I don't think any of these people sign up for an account, but specifically creator coins are sent out, then there's speculation about it, right? So FriendTech's a little bit different, where you actually have to have an account, then you actually can have shares of your specific personality, and basically people can buy or sell your shares, and depending on how that works, your value goes up and down. As you can see, Kobe here, being the influencer that he is. I'm not sure where the leaderboard is. You might have to look that up, but yeah. So that's friend tech. This is on Base. I believe it's only on Base, and they just put out a new thing where you can you can bridge directly from the app at friend.tech/deposit to bridge either I guess from Twitter or from the app, or through a wallet you have linked. And I haven't done it yet, but something to do. So if you're looking for a way to speculate on clout, and beta testers get some fun things, I guess. So if I can get some codes and you're interested, let me know. Feel free to do so. So, gents, your thoughts on this?
Not a huge fan. The fact that it's forcing phone. It just seems insecure, and I can't think of a reason why they would force people to use a phone rather than letting you choose. And it's also very worth noting that they take 5% of any transaction, and 5% goes to the owner of the code as well.
Yes. I mean, I don't expect to actually buy or sell any shares. Watch my stock just plummet. I'm canceling myself on friend tech right now. Terrible. Danger, your thoughts?
Meh.
It's a hype thing. If it gets big on social media, if there's enough hype built around it, some of them will do really well. But it's vapor. It's not built on anything. Yeah. There's no real value that I can see here.
Exactly. And honestly, that's exactly the whole point of what Racer did. OX Racer, who designed this app, is they're looking for people to get on Base and use Base, right? That, if anything, mission accomplished, because they've got everyone talking about it and people clamoring for invite codes. I'm not gonna lie, I was looking for an invite code for the last week, and it took until yesterday for me to actually find one that wasn't taken. So again, thanks to Coop for that. But yeah, there are people looking to get on, and this means people are bridging onto Base, bringing money, and that's essentially what things like this do. So
I mean, if they'll pay me
Does
to
it go
use
anywhere?
it, that's great. That's great. But I'm not going to
Well, they're gonna
pretend
pay
that
all
I'm
your
actually
friends.
interested
Fair enough.
unless there's a
So if
way
anybody
for
wants to
me
buy
to
my
like.
shares,
Can I short your shares?
ooh, I would love that. If you would short me, that'd be fantastic.
I don't
This
think they have futures trading, unfortunately.
No, I know.
It would be hard to
Unfortunately.
make you any shorter, Chris.
Hurtful. I'm tall for my culture. You stop that. So anyway, this is available as a progressive web app on mobile for anybody who's out there who's interested in web development. So you can do something like this. It's I don't know how I felt about the install process. I thought it was a little interesting, but it is what it is. The joke I had in the agenda was that this is the literal definition of how Jangle coin needs to happen, right? People have joked all the time about Jangle having a coin called Jangle coin. This is the exact way to get Jangle a Jangle coin, by literally marketing shares of himself. So we'll it's unfortunate he's not here this week. We'll see what we can do. So anyway, yeah, so base very hot right now. If you want to check it out, obviously all the majors are starting to make their way over there. The fact that Stargate is also out over there as well is pretty interesting. So
If I see a good
overnight,
looking GMX clone over there, I might bridge over and get in on that.
ooh, there is one. Oh, which one are you? There is a GMX clone coming over though. I saw it somewhere. If I can find it, I'll pass it along. But I had heard about it somewhere in another group that we're in, one of the many groups that we've kind of got our fingers intertwined in. I've seen somebody trying to build one. So because there's also a Camelot clone looking to come to base as well. So we'll see where this goes. Okay.
How's the Tomb Fork scene looking though? That's what I really want to know.
It's funny you mentioned that.
Any nodes?
Where is it? No, I don't see nodes. That's an interesting point. Where are the nodes? Maybe that's after FriendTech. You'll start seeing some nodes. That's probably exactly what's going to happen. I don't see it here. Basin Finance or Base Ethereum is what it was called. Oh wow, FriendTech is 51. That's hilarious. There's more than that on there. Basin Finance is a Tomb fork that's pegged to ETH. It's developed by Forgiving, who's the teenager who created the original Tomb with a 2. He's moved on there. It used to be called Base Ethereum, and now it's just called Basin Finance. So I don't see here on the list, but that is available. I don't know if I think they need to relaunch. I think they launched and their share token got botted, so they kind of shut things down. But we'll see.
Interesting.
Yes, they've been working hard. The degens have been working hard on base, specifically before the GA release. Yeah, end of July was a bit crazy, if everybody remembers. Problem is you could bridge in by sending money to a smart contract, but you couldn't bridge out. So
And why would you want to bridge out of base?
well, if you're a rugger like the Bald developer, who apparently, and I don't have this in the agenda, I have moved to Kraken. The funds have been moving to Kraken, so we'll see. We'll see where SBF wants to take these funds from here.
Well, they might not go anywhere.
It's true. May not go anywhere.
Him.
Also, there is Mount Gox, not Mount Gox, but there's 2010 Bitcoin on the move somewhere. I think I saw that literally right before we walked in. So we'll see. Shaky market today. Well, we talked about PayPal USD last week. You got to hear some very lovely, very nice short form content, clippable stuff from Jangle about how PayPal is whack. Steve thinks PayPal's whack. But you can't deny that there has been a bit of a catalyst, a firestorm about PayPal coming into the space, coming in hot. And now Ledger has jumped in the pool with them. You can now use PayPal to purchase coins on Ledger Live. So, you know.
If
Good
anything,
thing.
this makes me like Ledger less.
I know, right?
Unfortunately.
Well,
But yeah,
more
PayPal's a big
normies.
company. It's nice to
Yeah.
see adoption. It's not a service that I'm likely to use, but
Correct.
I'm sure some people will get into crypto because of this. Yeah.
Yeah. So ultimately, right now on Ledger Live, you can, with your hardware wallet, purchase Bitcoin, purchase ETH, purchase any coin using various custody brokers. So MoonPay, of course, is going to be one. There's a couple others that they use. But having PayPal there could be, well, it's just more of a convenience factor, right? One thing that's interesting about this is I'm curious to see MoonPay has kind of some shitty fees. So in the event that PayPal can beat MoonPay with PayPal's reach, this could be a big deal. Because one thing that we push is that you should have a hardware wallet to store your crypto. You should not be storing your crypto on a CEX at all. No more, no longer. It should be in your custody. That's why one of our groups is Beat the Banks, because you're here to be self-custodied, taking care of your money. So this is a bullish sign for that. I do hope we get better custody partners in, but for anybody who's a normie, as we call them, or a civilian, I guess is what we've also called people who are not on-chain natives. This is something to get their toes wet. You don't have to worry about buying Robinhood cash positions anymore that are disguised as crypto. Your thoughts, Andrew?
PayPal, good for adoption.
There we go. Good for adoption. Straight from the verified human. So, go ahead.
I mean, what's everybody worried about again? Why is anybody worried about this?
I'm not worried about it.
Are you worried, Gabe?
Not worried per se. I just don't see a reason why Ledger needs to be integrated with PayPal in any way. Fair if they want to launch a new product for like custodying money and allowing people to get on chain, but I'm not sure how that should be involved with Ledger directly.
Well, that's part of, the whole reason why they had the coin cover and the recover thing was to figure out how to bring in the next billion users into on-chain, right? Into self-custody. So that was the main reason why they created why they partnered with coin cover to create the recover solution, because they don't trust regular people to not, screw up their recovery process. So in the event they make a stupid move, they have a way to, an undo button to try their best to get that money back. If you forget your seed phrase or whatever the issue that you have, this brings more of that audience into that purview.
So I think like
that's a move.
I think the thing to keep in mind here is Ledger isn't really built to be a DeFi or an on-chain finance wallet. So they're expecting most of their users to purchase crypto through Ledger Live, or at least that's probably one of their big monetization functions. And then they actually have direct integrations from Ledger into dApps like Compound. And that's been something they've kind of advertised and promoted in the past. So I think the main thing here, it's not being integrated into Ledger, the hardware device. It's being integrated into the Ledger software suite, which is something that I don't use. So I don't think this impacts me. But I think it may impact the kind of the retail user that is actually managing their cold storage crypto through Ledger Live. If you can even really call that cold storage, but it's getting a little pedantic. I don't think they ever had a Coinbase integration. So I think this might really be like the best high trust integration that they've had directly into Ledger Live to date.
Yeah, Steve mentioned as well. PayPal had have some interesting terms of service in terms of messing with your payments. They've been known to do that for specific social media posts as well. If they could do that with your crypto, that would be a big negative side of it.
Well, I think some of it too is if you actually own PYUSD, what power do they have over that stablecoin, right?
A lot, I think,
it
from what
only-
I've seen. Yeah.
Yeah. Ultimately, that's another issue. Is in the event that you're holding PYUSD, you're technically being cuffed to PayPal. So
There's upsides and downsides.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like
Yeah,
to
the
continue using my Ledger without being involved in Ledger Live in any way, shape, or form. I think it was a mistake for them to implement it into existing devices. I think they should have launched as a new product, but it is what it is. We're
it
here
is
now.
what it is. Oh boy, I forgot about this. This was on the timeline yesterday. PayPal UK to halt Bitcoin and crypto purchases starting October 1st. I wonder why.
There's been significant issues with trying to get fiat on or off chain in the UK. They're making it harder and harder. There's many banks in the UK now that just won't allow you to buy crypto to, in quotation mark, protect their users.
Interesting. They're making sure that everyone knows that this service with PayPal is only available for US users. So yeah. Interesting. The land of no regulation, the US. What a weird position to be in. All right. Anyway. A Thorchain shout out. Of course there is. I do love looking at Twitter just for the comments.
Chill's always
like
chilling.
Yeah. It's just like going to Reddit. The ultimate place. Okay. Moving on. Are you a Hedera holder anymore, Andrew? Were you ever a Hedera holder?
Never.
Okay. I know CJ bought HBAR like a year ago. I need to ask him about how his bag's doing.
It had a moment.
So, it did, yeah. It had a moment. If anybody's using Fed, or obviously nobody's really using FedNow, but
I'm a big FedNow user, Chris. I have a bank, and
fair.
I use it for interbank transfers.
Fair enough. Yeah, we happen to use FedNow all the time, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, FedNow has added Hedera's Dropp application or platform as a service provider for FedNow. This is actually huge news. The reason for that being Dropp allows payments in not only just US dollars or USDC, but HBAR. So if you're an HBAR holder, obviously the value of HBAR decided to do a big pump ski. So does this mean more bullish movement for HBAR moving forward? It could be. Could be. Hedera itself, they're known for their lightning fast network using a hash graph for consensus and stuff like that. So lovely company. I met them in East Denver. Gave me a really nice pair of socks. I still use them. So, good socks, good tech, right? I don't know.
What? You had me zoning
Not
out
like-
there reading the comments for a second, and I come back, my brain
That's-
centers on good socks, good tech, and I'm like, oh wait,
Yeah, it's not
What?
like we shill apparel on this show or anything.
oh my gosh,
We're all
oh
wearing
my gosh.
we're all wearing shirts we got from East Denver.
I just you, sir. I don't like wearing
That's true.
swag. It's a weird personal quirk.
Really?
Yeah.
Gabe, do you feel the same way about crypto swag?
I would only wear it if it was something I believed in.
Okay. Well,
I
happily
mean, Rocket Pool's a pretty good product, sir. I mean, it's not. I
Yeah,
don't have
yeah.
anything against Rocket Pool.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I was wearing a Stella Swap. I don't know if I believe it's Stella Swap, but I like the color. Anyway.
I'm low key a clothing snob though, so like most of this like swag that you'll get at a convention, it isn't high enough quality for my tastes.
We're just gonna have to fix that when we go to Youth Miami. I've got a whole line of merch that we're looking at. I have in my little noggin.
I don't know. Can you print or stitch onto merino wool?
Probably could.
Probably. Sure.
Don't think we will, but
I don't think we
Exactly.
will.
Don't think we will. There is the key point there.
I mean, we're going to Miami. I'm looking at button down like, Hawaiian style shirts with lighthouses on top of them. So,
should do swim shorts.
oh no. Nope. No speedos or swim shirt. Well, maybe we could. I don't know.
Think about. Oh my gosh. Let's put a
Nope,
lighthouse
nope.
on the front. Just get it. Just you don't want to get it off center though. Like put it on one of the legs.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Gabe, Rishi Sunak, he's a crypto guy, right? So is this all grooming for CBDC land? Is that what mainly what this is?
I haven't seen any like large scale regulation come through. I'm not sure if the banks are choosing to do this by themselves. I can't imagine so. But if they're being directed to stop payments for specific projects and protocols, then at least there's no like large scale public regulation going out for it. And there are banks that do accept it still and do offer it. So there's just a few of the big ones that don't.
Yeah, I know we talked about Bank of England's pilot for this and how they're working with. This probably 2 months ago when we talked about how there was a pilot program with the IMF or a think tank that works with the IMF on working with things like FedNow and SWIFT to do payments like these. So I know that the UK definitely sees a future for digital payments. I guess it'll be a matter of how they control this information moving forward. That's it's all about controlling the currency, right?
Controlling the flow of money, and likely they want people to, if they're going to on or offboard into crypto, they probably want that done through their currency so that they can track it and make sure people pay their taxes.
And that's an interesting point. So let's say, let's fast forward 2 years. Everyone has a CBDC. People are getting their funds frozen and expired left and right. And all this is being framed a specific way. Can they track taxable income, taxable movement through CBDCs and other digital assets like that?
I would say absolutely, yeah. I mean, they're getting way more data if they're the ones that created the currency. But even if they're not, all the on-chain data is completely available, and we're going to see them getting better and better at tracking it. People are going to start having, in America, they're going to have the taxman on them as well. It's not just the UK. I think it's going to be a more common phenomenon across the world, at least in the Western world, where they're going to actively go after people that try and dodge taxes through crypto.
Yeah. I mean, you can already see proof of this in China. They've already liquidated and expired a couple people with digital yuans.
Yeah, they've already started implementing, right?
Yeah.
But as we see more and more governments implement CBDCs, it's also legitimizing crypto. So I think it's likely we're going to see more investments from larger corporation, institutional money coming into crypto as we see those deploy.
Yeah, I agree. Any
It's
thoughts, Andrew, on that?
interesting. It's interesting. It was interesting to see a crypto token, Hedera, benefiting from the implementation of a CBDC adjacent system. It's very interesting.
Do you think that's what Jordan Fried and Basanto and them wanted to do with HBAR when they first came up with it?
I don't know what they wanted. I just assume anyone
No,
who makes the thing is doing it to like make money. So, if they are still holding a bunch of HBAR, why would they care? Why it went up 50%? It's interesting though. A lot of these times when like the ideology and the corporate / government interests come into play, this just reminds me of the open source movement, and frankly, how the open source movement was mainly just co-opted for corporate gain. It's very likely that we may ultimately, we're seeing a similar like point of conflict and struggle here.
That's interesting that you bring that up, because I know you're not doing a segue.
I'm not.
But it's like,
I'm not.
Yeah, so it's like when I look at these products that are coming out, it's more about, how are you going to, obviously you can profit off of high net worth individuals, but that's not really the target, right? You want adoption at the lowest income levels for stuff like this, and being sold as to why it's a good idea. And that's the scary part.
I mean, I think potentially you even want adoption on a lower level. You don't want it at the individual level. You want it at the institutional and the infrastructure level. At the HBAR level, if you will.
At the HBAR level. At the HBAR tier.
They'll have lower fees, but due to the massive volume, they'll still be able to profit a lot more from those fees if we see institutional adoption. Yeah.
Because you have people who are going to be wanting to use those services all the time, as opposed to, larger money. They'll just have large batches every once in a while. That's actually a segue into the last piece I have on the agenda, because you mentioned open source, which I thought was interesting, and I just want to take a little bit of a poll from the audience. If you're in chat, or whether you're on Twitch or YouTube, just let us know. Like, do you use crypto ATM machines, like what you can see like in your local Walmart, gas stations, bodegas, convenience stores? You see them around. These Bitcoin ATMs. I personally haven't used one. I don't think I could ever bring myself to use one. But if you use one, just curious to know what it is about it that you like. Is it the convenience factor, being able to go pick up a soda pop or a hot dog or a...
Well, everybody hates this, Chris. People do not like ATMs in chat here.
Yeah, but all these people are people who are educated in our group and know. But for regular people who are watching this, is it cool that you can literally walk into Circle K or 7-Eleven and purchase crypto, seemingly? I find it disturbing that, at least here in Kansas City, which is an interesting metropolis because it covers 2 states, both Kansas and Missouri, that they are starting to distribute high fee crypto ATMs, specifically in lower income neighborhoods across Kansas City. And again, this is something that just literally came across randomly on my timeline. But
so by high fee, is there a specific percentage that's being cited?
Let me look. I want to say it's up to 10% per transaction. up to 40% in some cases. It's like the new payday loan, but frankly,
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
this
that's
is
what's
just
ridiculous.
another exploitative, system like check cashing and pawn
Yeah.
shops.
What were you saying, Gabe?
Yeah, that's just ridiculous. 10 to 40% fees. I could see a universe if they lowered the fees to below 1% or maybe 1%, and you had like a separate wallet for it with lower amounts. It's something that you could potentially use, especially if there's not any other good options. And if you just have to bring a hardware wallet or something, and you have very small amounts of funds on it, it's a way to get cash out potentially without having to KYC, right?
But it's for
Yeah.
buying, not selling.
True.
So you're depositing cash into the ATM and you're getting crypto.
It's seemingly that way. You might also be able to, if you have a wallet available, because apparently these are tracked, and you can actually go online on certain cases depending on the company, and seek out a machine. And if you have a wallet address that you can verify, probably pre KYC before you can do that, you can sell some for cash. That's my assumption. To me, I'm just like, why are there 100 cryptocurrency kiosks in lower income neighborhoods, period?
Because people are buying it, and it's legal to put them out there. I mean,
I
that's
guess.
pretty much why. Just free market.
So is this just for drug dealers to clean money, or?
I don't know. You should say that this is Ozark. Oh,
I mean,
man.
that's fair. That's fair. I don't know that drug dealers actually have that much trouble cleaning money these days, though.
I mean, they're called the Kansas City Beacon. We do not own this newspaper, by the way. There's no relation between. I just noticed this. No
LOL.
relation between us and the Kansas City Beacon, by the way. That's not why I pulled up this story. It was really just more about the headline. I just noticed that much. This is not ours. But yeah, that's. I mean, big screen. Huge. You're like, oh, awesome. I can get Bitcoin. Very interesting. I found this interesting because with what we just talked about, it could be a trend, right? To try and market exploit to lower income neighborhoods. A lot of different things are just terrible, right? It's just, I don't like this. But, there's the convenience for people who are looking to cash out, BTC.
It's not convenient. 10 to 40% fees. This is just exploitative. There's nothing good about it at all.
So yeah, don't use one of these. If GMX starts going crazy, do not go to a nearest Bitcoin ATM and try and cash out your GMX position. Not that you could anyway, but don't do that. Yeah, it's terrible. Yeah, it would be. So again, this is going to be. Thank you, Steve, for your comment. This is what's going to be probably the norm in the next 12 to 24 months. You're going to start to see fiat exchange points. You might see them at train stations, at airports, where you can actually cash out crypto for fiat to go bring it around somewhere. So you don't have to go to a foreign. I mean, they'll probably replace the foreign exchange desk, right? Probably not, but the interesting part is finding people who are educated enough to actually help guide people through this, because I don't expect my local convenience store clerk to tell me how to use the Bitcoin ATM.
Yeah, this is just kind of depressing. Maybe we should go back to something that has more value, like friend tech.
And we end up back at friend tech. So,
I mean, a joke,
yeah.
but not a joke. Like it's just. I mean, that's just another, like, essentially another crypto scam, except it's brick and mortar instead of online. That's
And I
it's an
think it's exactly what you
off-chain
said.
crypto scam.
Yeah, it's what you mentioned, right? Using open source principles to try and capitalize and game society. So keep your blinders on, ladies and gentlemen. There are people out there trying to take you. So
Oh, we
even
know,
at the
Chris. We
convenience
know.
store level,
The people know.
even at the convenience store level,
Especially at the
just gonna-
convenience store level.
yeah, don't do it. Don't do it. Find a
Those
friend.
Doritos are 3x the cost as they are at the grocery store. I know. They want to sell me a
Yeah.
Dorito for $7.
Convenience store, right? Unless you're in Japan food convenient at convenience, they're awesome. It's on my bucket list to go to Japan and eat at a 7-Eleven.
Well, Japan's a different universe, you know. They
It's
really
true.
love their vending machines.
They're in the future because you can use crypto to pay for stuff there now, and I trust in the Japanese version of no, I don't of the CBDC. They'll get it right. They'll get it right. We'll see. All right, that's all I had. Any thoughts, guys, before we wrap up and go?
Yeah, I think I might bridge over to base.
Yeah. I am curious about Alien Base. What is Alien Base about? Looks like it's a perp dex.
Maybe it's a GMX fork.
Oh no, this is very much a quick swap or Uniswap
Oh
fork.
yeah.
Oh yeah, look at that. So somebody opened up their goose farm, their goose finance fork, and decided to push it over. Okay, so Alien Base is going to be the thing here. All right. You got CB ETH and ETH, liquid stake derivative token for 14%. You got Axelar USDC and USDC for 20.
Nothing new and exciting here, really.
No, because you're being paid in this ALB token. What were you saying, sir?
Yeah, I am looking forward to seeing some of the serious protocols start deploying on Base. I still think that there's going to be really good APRs and rewards. Obviously, you're not going to be getting 4,000%, but I probably wouldn't deploy in something that's paying 4,000% anyway.
I mean, so for anyone who sees this, and again, this is part of the education process, right? That we offer at Beacon. You're gonna know that you're gonna see this. You're like, oh my god, 4,000% APR on Alien Base or ALB USDC. How amazing is that? Well, here's the problem, kids. You're being paid in the ALB token, and the ALB token is for the most part a native shitcoin. You have no idea when the value on that's going to drop. Most people are going to be farming here, are going to be bringing in mucho big bags and just draining the farm of all its liquidity. And that's why you should stay away.
You can see all the non-native pools is where most of the liquidity is. They're just farming and dumping.
Correct. Exactly. They're getting their ALB token that they're getting from these, and USD Plus, which is overnight's rebasing stablecoin with USDC. That's not a bad rate for 54%. Not a bad rate.
So what kind of dinosaur do you guys think the ALB token's going to turn out to be?
Stegosaurus? Maybe. Shout out to Taiki Maeda. But yeah, so essentially, if you're looking for something like this, the first thing you're going to want to do is find out where the ALB token is and just watch it on something like Dex Screener. Get a chart for it and just watch how it's just going, because it's designed to just death spiral down to zero unless there's some amazing utility that they're going to come up with. They're not going to. So,
I mean, if the TVL keeps growing at the current rate, then likely it'll keep going up for a while. But you never know with these.
You never know. So the key is,
it appears to be going down.
Find a way
right now.
Yeah, that is not shocking to me.
Yeah,
that is not shocking to me. Oh, well, this is even more interesting. They're already on Beefy, so you can just auto compound the 4,000% back into your LP position.
Oh, that's bearish for the ALB token.
That's bearish as hell.
They need some like they need some lockups or something.
Something. Yeah, give me a harvest lockup. That would be great. We'll wait and see. If you got time to burn and you got bags, obviously this can be the quick. I'm not going to use the words, but just a little yield farm for you to look into. So let me know how it goes, Dan. All right, guys. Any other thoughts before we go? You all right, Andrew? Hopefully I didn't depress you too badly there, sir.
Hopefully base stays based.
Agreed. Keep those institutional fingers out of my base. It's only for base chads only. People like us. One of us.
I mean, isn't base
us.
kind of institutional? Like, isn't this kind of just like
Yeah.
BNB chain with the deck the CEX we like better?
Yeah, that's basically it. Yeah, there's that. But that's where the money's going, right? So that's the best place to at least just check out.
They don't have a
Obviously-
token, at least, right?
Yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
So
it's,
yeah,
it's still
start
using
farming your airdrop.
it's using ETH for gas,
True.
so it'll be a roll-up type situation, even if they do.
Yeah,
deploy a
I
token.
don't know if I love this ETH for gas trend. I mean, it's
I like
removed
it.
such fun speculation out of the game.
Well, these
That's
layer
what
twos,
perplexes
there's
are for.
barely any gas cost anyway, so it doesn't really make any
Mhm.
profit.
Well, that's the reason why they have the token, right? For once you decentralize the sequencer and you bring in all the consensus and the DAO stuff, that's when you start making the profit. Right? Wink, wink. Anyway, guys, thank you for another great show this week. We actually had a guest on rotation to come in today, but they couldn't make it. So, but we will be starting to bring in more people into the fold, starting next week. So tune in to find out. Again, if you haven't subscribed to us, please do. We're here every Wednesday, 12 p.m. Eastern, for the Beacon Roundtable show. We talk about wonderful things in the world of on-chain finance, crypto, decentralized finance, investing, whatever's out there. We'll talk about it. We'll have a good time doing so. We thank you so much for being here with us. Thank you to our friends from Beat the Banks, also here as well. Of course, shout out to our Beacon founders. We love you guys. And we'll see you in next week's episode. 07.
If anyone figures out how to short Chris on Friendtech, let me know.
Yeah. Let me know. Or long. Never mind. Nope.